Welcome back to Whippoorwill Holler, and welcome back to my kitchen. You know, it's getting that time of year for, well, I think every time of year is a good time for appetizers. I love finger food and I love appetizers. It's just, I don't know. I guess it's because you can go in somewhere and just get a plate full of all different kinds of goodies. I just love them. But I know that a lot of appetizers are used at Christmas time for parties, Christmas parties, and especially for New Year's Eve parties. So what I want to do is I maybe want to help out a few people that love some of these appetizers but can't eat them or eat as much because of the sugar content. Now I know there's going to be a little bit of sugar in here because of probably the little Smokies, which we're going to be using. And we're going to be making brown sugar little Smokies. And I know you've all seen them. You've all ate them. They are one of my favorite things. I'm telling you, I don't know. There's just something about them. It's the brown sugar. It's the Christmas. It's the crispiness of the bacon. And it's some little Smokies and just everything all together wrapped in one little thing. And you got a toothpick in it and you can eat it. And it's just so good. I just love them. But some people can't enjoy them because of all the sugar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to help y'all out a little bit. And even for me and Mr. Brown, we could cut back on the sugar quite a bit on a few things. We don't eat like this all the time. I mean, this is, things like this come, just every once in a while through the year, maybe just around Christmas time. And, we have appetizers, probably on Easter and just different stuff like that. So it's just not something you do all the time. So I don't feel bad about doing it. But this right here, I buy this online. So I don't know where else you can get it online. I do buy bacon and some of my fresh pork from a company called Crowd Cow. Now I'm not sponsoring them or anything. I'm just telling you what I use. And right now we don't have any fresh pork coming off right now. We do have a mama that's fixing to have some little baby pigs though. So we'll get to that probably next year sometime. But this is a no sugar added, uncured smoked bacon. And I ordered this from Crowd Cow because I order pork chops from them too. And this is very delicious pork. And I'm a little bit prejudiced because the company that I buy from is from Arkansas. And I believe it's Decatur, Arkansas. I hope I'm not wrong on that. And you might be able to find this at some different stores too. I'm not sure that Walmart carries them. Kroger may carry them. The no sugar added uncured smoked bacon. It's just some, you can hear my granddaughter. She's in there singing. But what I got here is 10 ounces. But you're going to need about 16 ounces. So I'll use this one and part of another one. And then I'm just doing one regular size recipe. But what you see here is I've got the 28 ounce little Smokies. But I'm only going to be doing 14 ounces today. So when you're wanting to double the recipe, you'll do the 28 ounces of little Smokies. And you'll do 32 ounces of your bacon. Now, if you're not worried about your sugar intake, and you love these little things, you've ate them before, just get you regular bacon and don't worry about it. Now, the other thing we're going to do. Now, the first time I ate this was at a potluck at church. And the lady came up, she knows I love these little things. And she said, "Can you taste the difference?" And I'm like, "No, what'd you do?" She said, "Well, I used Swerve brown sugar instead of regular brown sugar." I said, "I cannot tell the difference," and I couldn't. They were still just as good. And I know she's diabetic, so her and her husband both had to really watch their sugar. So I thought, well, this is wonderful. Now, when I went to the store, I couldn't find the Swerve brown sugar. It was all bought up. So even if I'd have went online, I wouldn't have got them in time, and I'm sure it'd be higher online. But they did have the Truvia brown sugar substitute. And I know a lot of y'all have used this in baking and stuff. So, this is Truvia Sweet Complete, plant-based stevia leaf sweetness. Brown, let's see, it's brown with a hint of molasses. calorie-free, sweetener with stevia leaf extract. So it says it's great for baking, 0 sugar. So I'm sure this is something that a lot of y'all have used in making cookies and putting it in your oatmeal, stuff like that. So we're going to be using them on our little Smokies today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure everything out, and then we're going to start assembling everything and get them in the oven. It's really easy. It don't take very many ingredients. I know y'all are going to love this recipe. Okay, so we're going to start out by, I'm going to go ahead and get this out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and mix up my brown sugar. And of course, this is what we're using, the Truvia Sweet Complete, or you can use the Swerve brown sugar substitute, whatever it is you use as your sugar substitute. And we're going to start out with 1 cup. And I'm going to pack it if you get just a little bit more, it ain't going to hurt nothing. Okay. So there's 14 ounces in this bag, and you can buy it in bigger bags. So I can use the rest of this for our oatmeal or just things like that I'll be using this week. But if I was doubling this recipe, of course, I would have to have 2 cups of my sugar substitute. Okay, a cup of your brown sugar substitute. And the garlic, I want you to put what you think you might like on there. I don't want to get too garlicky because your little Smoky has seasonings in it too. So I'm going to put just a good teaspoon. And y'all know how much Miss Lori loves her garlic. But I just don't want to overdo it, overpower it. Okay. Now all you're going to have to do is just mix that up. If 1 teaspoon's not enough, you know what? You can put another teaspoon, be fine. Now, I'm going to cut my bacon in thirds. So, I'm going to wash my hands real quick and find me a knife. I don't think I've ever done a video that I think I've had everything over here that I needed. I try. I think ahead and I try. And like I said, this one's 10 ounces, but I'll get some out of my other package too. You're going to need some toothpicks. So let's cut this in thirds. I thought my knife was sharper than that. Mr. Brown's going to have to sharpen my knives. Mr. Brown's not here yet. He's still working. Y'all know that man works a lot of hours. But I tell you, he's counting down the days of retirement. And he wants to do videos so bad. And I told him, I said, you get retired, you'll be able to do all that Dutch oven cooking and all that stuff that you're wanting to do. Okay. So all you're going to do is I'm going to get some toothpicks out here so I'm not got my hands in now there's so much. I've got a 9x13 pan here, sprayed. Now, another thing you can do with this is you can do this on a flat sheet pan and put you a, thinking of, my mind's went blank. Your little grates you can put in there that, like you would have in a roasting pan or something, so that your meat sits up there off the bottom and all the juice goes to the bottom. Now, you don't have to do that, but that will make your little Smokies even crispier. I don't have one that fits this pan. Mine's pretty big, but this works too. So either way. So, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm taking my brown sugar substitute here and my garlic, and I'm going to roll. You know what? These aren't real wet, so you could roll it like this, but you're not going to get much on them. The best thing to do is when you're done with rolling your bacon around your sausage, then, or you can put your bacon on there and then roll it. That's going to stick to your bacon. And then when you're done, you can also sprinkle a little more on there. I'm going to take a toothpick where the seam is, and I'm just going to run it just right through it, just like that. And like I said, you can, when you're done, you can sprinkle more of this on top of it. I know a lot of y'all have made these. These are a real favorite for any party. And you have your own ways of doing things. But when she told me that she made this with Swerve Brown Sugar Substitute, it was like a light bulb just clicked on in my head. And I'm like, well, yes, yes. And now other people that really have to watch their sugar intake, they can enjoy this like everybody else. And that makes me happy, and it makes y'all happy when y'all can do that. You can use the brown sugar substitute, no matter what brand you use, in your baking, in any dishes. If you're making homemade barbecue sauce and stuff like that. I made, we had a little party at work, and I make my chicken wings that everybody loves. And they're so easy, and I do have a video on that. And it's got quite a bit of brown sugar in it. And see, I could use this in place of that. And it would be good, tastes wonderful, and, you know, we wouldn't be eating so much sugar. And I'm not saying that, I use this for everything. I don't. But sometimes you can do things like this. Especially when you've got family members that you know you really have to watch that sugar. And they can enjoy the same things that you're enjoying. So I'm going to keep wrapping these little Smokies. And then we'll come back. My oven is heating at 350. And I'll show you once I've got them all done. Just make sure you got them at the seam when you're putting toothpick through it. Anyways, we'll be back in just a minute. Probably 2 minutes. Okay, guys, I've got a little confession. I'm not going to open up another thing of bacon. But the recipe does call for 16 ounces of bacon and 14 ounces of your little Smokies. I'm just using that 10-ounce thing of bacon because it's just, I don't plan on having any parties right now. I'm just wanting to show y'all the recipe. But me and Mr. Brown will be eating on these this weekend, I guarantee you. So it looks like not quite, probably a few more, and I'd have done the 14 ounces of Lil Smokies. So I still have that left to make a whole nother batch. If you're doubling the recipe, you'll use 28 ounces, and I'll put that down in the recipe. So, because I'm not going to open another thing of bacon, I just used 10 ounces of bacon and just made up the ones, what I had. And this is what it looks like. Now, you really don't want them crowded up very much. So, the next size up, and the other thing, like I told y'all, one of the best ways to do it and bake it is on a sheet pan with a rack. And you want to spray that rack good and place them on there. And they'll be crispier because your bacon has fat in it, of course. And so some of that juice is going to be down there. This is good this way. Believe me, I eat them like this all the time. But when you bake them on the rack, they're just a little more crispy because they're not sitting in the juices. But either way, they're so good it don't matter. But 350 oven. And the little bit of brown sugar that I've got left, I'm just going to sprinkle on top. And if I wanted to, I could just put the rest of this in a little baggie, and I'd save it for the next time that I'm going to make some. And I will be making some at Christmas. So, I'm going to put this in the oven. I'm not going to cover it. And I'm going to bake it. I'm going to check it after 40 minutes. And probably the most will be 45. If I feel like they're not done enough and still needs about 10 more minutes, I will cover them up and then uncover them. But at this point, I'm not going to. So let's get them in the oven and get them cooking. And then when they're done, we'll come back and maybe Mr. Brown will be here and he can taste one for us. Squeaky oven. $40. Okay, guys, after 45 minutes, they're done. And I like mine just a little bit more brown and crispy than some people. But you could have probably got them out at 40 minutes if you don't like them this brown. But I always like my bacon pretty crispy and brown.
I do too.
And we talked about what we're using, the sugar substitute. And the reason that we're doing this is for people that, especially diabetics, people that can't have that much sugar in their diet and still be able to have all these good appetizers that come around the holidays. Now, I did go and look at the ingredients. Mr. Brown, you want to try one? I did go and look at the ingredients on the Lil Smokies. And one of the ingredients is corn syrup. But then I got to looking about how many grams. So there's 1 gram of sugar to 5 of these links. And that's what it said on the back. So to be able to eat 5 of these, and just, I'll be there in just a minute, and just have 1 gram of sugar, that's pretty good. So, anyways.
That'll be really good.
So, what do you think about them?
You honestly would not think that was a sugar substitute. And to me, it's almost like...
I mean, you could use this in baked beans and everything. I mean, you're not going to be able to tell the difference. They're like that good. And
that's like brown sugar to me.
The other night when we was eating at church, I thought the same thing. I've got a little girl holler at me, wanting me to come help her. So anyways, we want to finish this video. And if y'all like these appetizers and you want to cut back on your sugar, do try this or use the Sword, whichever one that you use. Because I guarantee you, they're good. And you're not going to get as much sugar in your diet eating them. So I hope y'all enjoyed this. And I'm going to have a couple more appetizers coming. And just a few more holiday things coming up.
It actually glazed, too.
It made a good glaze.
Glazed.
I mean, I was telling them that the fat from the bacon, you know, it makes juice in the bottom. But once it starts cooling, it gets pretty syrupy with that brown sugar.
It's
so
good.
They are really good, y'all. And you can make these ahead of time. Even a couple days before, put them in a container, and then the day of, you don't want to just stick them in a high oven, but you can heat them up and get them. And they're even good cold too. And you can make your dipping sauce to dip with them too. So they are good. And I mean, there's a lot of people, like I said, that's really having to watch their sugar. So if this helps you any.
Don't hurt for us to cut back on
No,
sugar.
that's what I was telling them. It don't hurt us to cut back either. So, guys, I want to take this time, too, to thank everybody. I've still got Christmas cards coming in the mail, and I've got them typed up everywhere in the house, and I will show y'all all my Christmas cards here, probably next week, because I'm still getting them in. And all the gifts, the handmade gifts, just the recipes, y'all made so many beautiful handmade gifts and sent them to us, and just anything you've sent us, know that we appreciate every one of them. So.
It's Christmas year-round, this lady, ain't it?
Yeah, it is. Because I've got such wonderful subscribers. They're always good to me.
Absolutely.
So, guys, we're going to say goodbye, but we're going to be back in a couple of days. Mr. Brown's got to get busy before this really Arctic air comes in. We got to get some wood up. We got trees down. We got to get the wood up.
So if anybody wants to come over
Oh, yeah.
and help put up a bunch
There
of
we
wood.
go. Yeah, we could use the help. Anyways, we'll see y'all in a couple of days. God bless everybody. We love y'all. And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.